That's it. Perfect. So thank you, Olga, for coming in, and all those nice things that you were saying before we started the recording. You can please repeat it. I know I talk about it. I'm very happy. So thank you very much for coming in.
First of all, thank you very much for calling me in, and this is a great honor. All these things that I told you before, and I will tell them again. It's the truth. You are doing such an excellent job connecting all professionals, all mediators, all great persons together in this link that you have expanded. You have been so intelligent, and this is such a great thinking of connecting us all and exchanging ideas and experience. I'm really honored and very pleased to be here in this huge circle of mediators or professionals that you have created. It's an honor. Thank you very much.
That's really nice, Olga. Such nice words. I tell you, this is what I do it for. When you hear these words of appreciation, but I'll tell you, Olga, this has become a responsibility now. When the people who are out there, who I get on my shows and everything, the people actually, I mean, there was one person who wrote to me and said that I picked up that mediator because I've seen that person on your show. So now it's become a responsibility. That you've got out there, people are linking them with a certain kind of people. So it works both ways now. So, but I think it's been nice to have wonderful people like you coming in. I think it's just been very nice.
And adding to that points, it's I was always thinking that when I was young, someone asked me, "What do you prefer, to have good friends or to have a huge amount of money in a Swiss bag?" And I said that I don't care about a huge amount of money in Swiss bag because I have good friends who have Swiss bank accounts. No. Because I really appreciate having in my life persons that can really help me, can really be there for me, and of course be there for them. I want to be there for everyone, and good friends, good personalities, good minds is what we really need in order to go forward in our lives and take some examples from their lives, putting them in front of us and having in mind that we have to reach them and succeed in our lives in any way, not only professional, also in personal way, because if you don't have a nice character, a nice mind, nice thoughts, all these things, I don't think that it is really good. That's my opening points.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that good conversation that you have with someone, there is no, I mean, you can't put a price to it. It's just wonderful to have that good conversation, that time that you spend with good people. So that's why I keep saying that the energy that you have around you just should be positive energy at all points of time. Because whenever that little negative energy comes in, it affects you in every way. It'll affect you in every way. So I'm quite clear about it. And I keep talking about it, that if I don't like the energy, I will disconnect with the person. I'm happier doing that. I'm really happier doing that rather than carry something with you which is not good for you. I don't know what you think about it. I don't know what you feel about it. What do you think?
Energy is something that affects us a lot, especially these days, that good or bad energy really lead our lives, because we are so we don't know, we have not the conscious that we really depend on persons, on people, but we really depend on people, and we have seen that during these days of COVID, that we were so isolated, and though whoever had good friends, good connections, good energy with him or her. He was very, or she was very lucky because they succeed to face all this COVID-19, all this pandemic, all these bad things that happened in our lives, maybe some losses. Some people have lost friends or family, and really, if you don't have any good persons with good energy in your life, you can never go forward. We can you will always receive all the bad thoughts or the bad energy. Power, everything is power, everything is interaction, and that is why I'm trying to see the good things in our lives, like you, as you said before, that you are trying to result good things, because if you don't do that, you will you will become very negative, and that is going to be reflected to others. So energy, yes, I don't like persons that are not optimistic. They don't have good thoughts. They don't have good words for each other. They don't help persons. I like all the persons that are trying to be useful in their companions or their circle or in humanity. I really like persons that are doing things, good things for others who doesn't know them. I mean, I have some families that I don't know them, and I try to give them food or clothes or whatever they need, because I feel the cold they feel when it's winter, or the hunger they feel when they don't have anything to eat. And I'm happy when I do that, and that is reflected to me, and I take this power and I give to other in order to be continued. I don't know. Am I talking a lot?
No, this is perfect. This is what I need to hear, because I'll tell you this. I've been talking about mediators and mediation, and this energy that you're talking about, the kind of person that you are. This is all that makes that mediator mindset that I keep talking about. Oh, this is something which doesn't come up when people talk about. They say we'll train you to become a mediator. I mean, you might have heard me saying this so many times that I don't know why people think they can make a mediator. This value system that you come from, these thoughts that you come from, cannot be put into you by in a few hours of training, as they call it. It can't. This is a person, and I mean, this is what I'm trying to bring across from this show and other shows, that these are special people. Their thoughts, their feelings about people and everything is very special, and they bring that into mediation and in their life together. So that's very important.
Uh, Thinking about becoming a mediator, it's a very serious decision, because nobody knows what a mediator, what being a mediator means before, of course, having that training, or before experience the first case, mediation case. We don't know why we are becoming a mediator. We are having this either this trend or this idea, or we want to have to access to some knowledge that we didn't have heard before. But why are we really? Why do we really want to become a mediator? Because it's so hard to become a mediator. Mediator is not a professional. It's something deeper. It's a mindset. It's feelings. It's a knowledge in depth about persons, about human beings, about their psychology, about their needs, about their future, and their past, how the past is affecting their future. So when I decided to become a mediator in 2015, almost 7 years ago, I really didn't know that Mediator was so hard to be. And I thought that it's okay. It's an added value. It's a training that it's okay to have, because that brings you knowledge, and knowledge is always a good thing. But when I start training, I start the training for being a certified mediator. You cannot certify any mediator.
Exactly. But
Only life, only life can
Olga,
certify.
I'm going to hold you for a minute because there is
Okay?
some positive energy which is coming into the meeting. Let us
Of
see
course.
what there is someone wanting to come in.
Mhm.
So
Ah, my sister.
yes, I said I should call her. But did she tell you that she's coming?
No.
Hi, Sophia. She didn't sure. I told her
Hello,
not to.
Olga. Hello.
I thought she to surprise you. I,
Hello, Sophia. She's my good luck and my positive
exactly.
feeling in my life.
That's
She's
what.
one
That's why.
of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I wanted her to come in. But now, where is she? I can't even see her. Sophia, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm not in the office, and I have to close my phone and my video now.
No, no problem.
But I
No,
can
no.
hear you.
Perfect. That was just the idea was to just get you in, and we were talking about positive energy. So you are positive energy for Olga. So I said you should also be here.
Yes, I try to be positive. Yes,
Though we say that if we don't kill our younger sisters or brothers when they are very little, then you can really enjoy them. Because in Greece we say that like humor, because sister or brother is something that you carry in your whole life. And afterlife. I mean, even after losing anyone, you really carry in your soul, in your thinking, and if your brother or your sister is such good as Sophia is, then I think that you are a rich person. And she's younger than me, but she's better than me. She has succeeded her life, and I really admire her. Though I don't show to her anything.
No, but the thing is, I think it's a very good thing to have that person with you because obviously there's so much you could want to maybe talk about and share and everything. So you have someone close by. I think that makes a lot of difference into your life, I'm sure. But you were saying about your like
Training.
you said becoming a mediator. I keep saying not become a mediator. You were always a mediator, but you started thinking of practicing as a mediator. But
Exactly.
obviously we'll ask Sophia separately whether that is the kind of person you were. But what you were saying makes a lot of sense, that this aspect of training and everything that we talk about, which I don't say training, as a skill development, that's a different thing. I'll talk about that. But yeah, you were saying something, I cut you off.
Yes, it doesn't matter. I was saying that you mediator is not a professional that is trained and certified and become a mediator. You are born mediator. You are born with these skills, and the moment that you decide to have that direction, you realize that direction, that changes your life, because you are in front of resilience, and you see that there are so many things that you didn't have thought of them, and then you are trying to analyze more in depth. So no, certification of mediator is not what we want or what we want to achieve. What we want to achieve is in-depth realization that human is a very complicated person with so many feelings that are known, are realized, and so many feelings that are not realized even by him or her. So when you are standing in front of a case and in front of persons, in front of human beings, you're trying to think, to go in their shoes and to think and feel what they are thinking and what they are feeling. That is very complicated because persons don't even realize what themselves, what they are thinking or what they are feeling. And that is more complicated when you leave the commercial cases and you go to strictly personal cases like family cases or cases that have the personal factor very, very high. I don't think that is something that can be taught. I think that is something that can be experienced only. And if you have that talent, if you are gifted, if you have these skills, you can also improve them. But if you don't have, I don't think that you can be a real mediator. You can be a real professional and a good professional, but not a mediator. Mediator is like, what can I say? It's something, it's religious for me.
Yeah.
It's not a professional for me.
I keep saying that it's a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, actually. So that this aspect of being a profession also, I'm still questioning that. I put out this vision 2026. One of them, on my website, I said profession, but I put a question mark in front of it. Is it really a profession or is it just a way of life? But let's ask Sophia what she thinks about your being a mediator. Sophia, what do you think? What all she said about a mediator? Sophia, are you going to tell us? Sophia is not there.
She's there, but I think that it's the hour that the moment that she has some business with her son, which is very young, and he's 6.5 years old, and I think that it's the end of the school, and I think it's that kind of time.
But we should have actually got your daughter also. Her flexibility, those photographs that you put up, amazing flexibility she has. But what is she doing? Gymnastics or something like that?
Yes, she was an athlete of gymnastics for many years and a ballet dancer. And now she's a rower. She's doing rowing, and this. You know, some things that and some outdoor experience you have with some things that you didn't know how they are working, like rowing, like being in the middle of nowhere in the sea, and you have only the sky and an horizon that is really open. I think that there is the place and the moment you can think, you can have this clear mind and this very huge vision, and there is the moment that you can touch yourself, touch your soul. That's everything that you have no time to touch when you are having so many things, so many works, so many stress in your life, and when you go to that kind of mindset, because it's a mindset, everything is a mindset for me. I think that is the moment of your life, and I really admire not only my daughter is okay, all the athletes that they don't care about all this effort they make. They are superheroes for me. And I really admire all these things that they sacrifice in order to become such a great athletes and such a great persons, because they have also this in their lives. They are so you know, they program music, everything. Their food, their meeting other people, education, everything. I think that it's magic. Athletes is a really other mindset, other way of thinking, other way of living. I really admire them.
And
And
people don't realize how much effort they put in. There's so much work they put in for that. Oh, you'll see them on maybe one event and competing in something, but there's a life that has gone behind it and so much work. And it's a major discipline. You have to really be very disciplined on that, I think. But this thing interesting that you said, that in the fact of being in the water in the middle of nowhere and connecting with yourself. I think everyone must do that. At some point of time, you need to disconnect from life in general and then connect with yourself, wherever it might be, in the middle of the water or middle of anywhere, maybe in the middle of a city. It doesn't matter. But I think connecting with yourself is really important. Because for me, that happens on the golf course. Like same thing. I'm out there in the middle of okay, it's not the middle of nowhere, but still in the middle of a green area. I think you get to connect with yourself.
And if you don't do that, how can you control your feelings? How can you improve your thoughts? If you don't connect yourself and don't monitor what you have done up to now and what you do you want to do from now on, how can you be improved? And improvement is something that we have to train, to be trained a lot. We don't have to live ourselves like that, and we don't have to don't care about how our lives are going to be lived by us. We have to want to self-improve and improvement, and we want something better for our soul, because after all, we are only human beings. We will pass someday, and what are we going to leave behind in our kids, in our friends, our social life? We really have to live something good. And this thinking of us, I mean, I have lost my grandmother, my mom's mom, when I was 8 years old, and now I am 44 years old, and I'm always remember her like she left yesterday, because all these 8 years of my life, and I'm not remember her from my 0 year. I remember here from my 5th year, and though I spent 3 in Kosius, 3 years with her, I remember her because he told me so many things, and he passed to me a way of thinking, to be good to other persons, to do something good to others, to make things wonderful. And I'm always remember her, and everything I have done up to now in my life, either good or not bad, the good things I have done in my life, I dedicate to her, not to my mom, because she was the one who left me such a good and big emotions and notions. Of course, my mom, who is in life, has improved everything in my life. But I want to. I told that in I underlined that relationship I had with my grandmother, because that I want to live. If and when I pass, I want to live good thinking, to live good emotions, to have some things that someone can recall and say, "Oh, Olga said that, and I'm thankful for that." And that will be my greatest moment, even if I'm not in life. I really want to self-improve in order to help other persons also be improved. And that's very, very, very difficult in our lives. because of the technology, which is good, as we said in before, but technology has some points that affect it in our lives, and all this non-communication, non-in-person communication led us to be cruel, to be isolated, not to think how are we going to affect or to maybe hurt some other people, because everything is through net and not through in-person connection, and that is not so good, because if you are near someone and if you feel him here, then you can feel their anxious, their sadness, their everything that they care for or about, and I think that you can help more. Now we are in technology. Now we are in these difficult years that this isolation lead us become cruel, become cool. Cool, not the good word. Cool, that means colder, not so warm, not so. We don't want to share feelings, to share anything, and that is something that's why I said that you are doing a great job connecting us, because even that way, even through web, internet, because you have up to now enriched all these dimensions, and you help us come together, help each other, all these things that we have lost the past the years that have been passed, and I don't know how can I help to change all these feelings and vision, and
first of all, I go back first to your grandmother part of it. What you just said is exactly what I've been saying. That other show that I do, that evolution of a mediator, I keep telling people that when we'll start on that show. Have you seen? I don't know whether you've seen any of the episodes of that show with Ken Cloak or with anyone else. I go back to their grandparents and their parents, how they grew up, what their value system were, because each of those things that you imbibe make you what you are. And for a person with a mediator mindset, all that you just said and the impact that your grandmother had on you is what you are going to feel, going to bring to your okay, this is the profession or whatever I'm saying, that the practice that you do, that really helps in that practice, really helps in that practice. As a person, the way you deal with people in general, obviously it affects that also, but my focus in on that mediator mindset has been on this, that a person goes through so much, the people that they meet in life, those the wonderful people, those beautiful souls that you interact with, all that you imbibe from there is so important. And that is, I think, not being discussed when we talk about the person being a mediator. We don't even talk about that. And that again, that Vision 2026, one important thing that I put out is heart, soul, and spirituality. That these are important aspects of the person which they bring in, that energy that they bring in, and all that is very important. So I think that is getting lost somewhere. I don't know why it got lost. Did it become into that whole technical, professional kind of thing around it, which was created, but not realizing that that is such a small part of the practice of mediation in this world. At the ground level, in families, in communities, it is all happening there. And those people who are doing it, those are people who are trusted because of all these values that they bring in. So that is what I'm trying to do, that I'm now, which you are also going to help me do. We are going to connect back into villages. You're going to maybe pick up one village and one community somewhere, one school somewhere, that you will just go back to them and ask them, who are those people that you trust? And let's bring those people out. And these are the people who need to be highlighted. They need to be valued. So, Olga, you're going to help me do that.
I will be very grateful to do that, and I will learn many things from this thing. And okay, let's start here now. I want to ask you that that questions. Can you please share with us what is your roots? What are your roots? What is your your first how can I say, first things that you um, irritate your mind or your soul? What are these things?
Olga, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. It's going to be about you only.
No, because this interaction, when persons meet, something is happening. Something is happening, like the energy we said, bad or good energy. Either you are attracted to someone and you want to learn more from them, and you want to be with, to collaborate, to discuss, or whatever. Either you go away from someone. You have done so many things, and you are edged by your feelings, your ideas, your vision, and really that is something that is very insightful to know why one person, one single human being uh, is urged by what, which is the vision, what is the feeling inside him or her. And I really want to know, because I'm getting things from other persons who admire. I am I'm inspired by persons that I want to be like them. Or it's not when I say I want to be like them, it's not that I want to imitate or to try to be them, but I want to take things because I think that is life, that is interaction. To take some good points that you have focused on, and you think that are going to be useful in your creation, in your creation of your soul, your thinking. And because I really admire what you are doing up to now, I want to know what you have in your heart, in your thoughts. And it's me again. You're talking about me because I'm going to take some things from you, and I will try to use for good reason, for trying to be better, or try to help other.
Look, I tell you, for to be with me, what works for me and what works with in terms of dealing people is that I do not have any thought about the person, about what the communication is going to be, nothing at all. It's like, I don't know, call it a pure kind of a thought process there. It's a blank kind of thing, screen, blank canvas. It just how the person, when you interact with the person, how you can, there's that energy which goes online also. I'm not saying that you need to be in a physical space. There is a certain feeling that you get and the energy that you get, and based on that, whatever communication happens, conversations happen, is connecting to a certain part of that person which is inside, which is what I feel I connect to. So it is nothing, I mean, there's nothing around the person that you have to think about. It just goes right inside. And at that point of time, which I don't know whether you heard me saying, that you have this quantum computer up there, your mind. What we do is we try to question it at everything that we say, every little action that we take. We are wanting to check that output and look at that output. Is it correct? Should I bring it out? Say that one sentence I'm going to say. First, I'll filter it through something and then should I send it out? I don't filter it. What comes in and it just comes out. But one before that, Sophia wants to say, I'm going. So Sophia, I thought we'll bring you in, but I think you need to go. You can't see her chat, but she's saying that she has an appointment. Okay, Sophia, thanks for coming in. So she has to leave. So
Uh,
yeah. So I'm just saying that that part of it, where you are interacting with people, on living life in general, to be able to bring yourself at peace with that moment, that there is nothing that you have in terms of expecting from that moment. You're letting that moment happen the way it happens,
mhm,
and you don't want anything from anyone. So you, that interaction, it's a pure interaction, as that whatever that interaction in that moment will take place, that's all there is to it. So that is why I think that connection happens with people. And it's a, like I said, the output that comes out, just bring it out. You want to say this, say it.
mhm,
Why should you not? Because the moment you start holding back, there is, first of all, going to be an accumulation inside you. It's like a dam. You're creating a dam of thoughts, and based on that, some things are going to accumulate inside. So you'll get cluttered inside, which will affect your next sentence or your next moment in life, whatever you do. So don't clutter yourself with thought process. I don't even clutter myself with negative, like I said, with a negative energy. No concept of watching the news, or don't pick up so much information. There's so much information out there which you start bringing in, and that brings you down. And no, nothing like that. Just stay in this moment. There is nothing beyond this. That's the way I look at it. I don't know.
mhm. I see. And what about empathy or sympathy? Do you think that shall these emotions lead us? Because I'm a very spontaneous person, although I'm a very big person in age, and I should be not so spontaneous and not so. I emerging by emotions. It happens in my
Why?
life.
Why shouldn't you be, Olga? Why shouldn't you be? You should be like that. That's the way you
uh,
should be.
because the way of living, especially in my area, my country, is not acceptable to be spontaneous or to have this free of expression or freedom of expression or freedom or whatever. You have to be in some mode, in some very certain. How can I say? You have to be very official. You have to, formal, um, and that is really stressful, because when you are very spontaneous and you want to do things or say things the way that you are thinking them, I think that you are very easy to be translated to other words, and that will mislead any situation, or you are going to be misunderstood, and all these things. I have experienced that in my life many times because of my spontaneity. Um, and also all these feelings and the thoughts and all these things uh, are coming also from empathy to others or sympathy to others, and all these other emotions that really frustrate me sometimes. And I want to do something, and I do the wrong thing, maybe some days. And I don't know if we have to control all these emotions. I'm not sure if we have to control. Okay, if you have learned to live like that, even if you are misunderstood or misled or whatever, if you have learned to do that, it's okay. But I don't know that. I don't know if it's useful to be um, to show some empathy, sympathy, or uh, all these emotions. I'm not.
I think, because the way I'm looking at it is that, of course, you have to be yourself, whatever
Mhm,
feeling come, yes. But at the same time, there is that, whatever that world around you that you create, these people who understand you, where you're coming from, what your thought is about it. Maybe they appreciate it, some people don't appreciate it. So slowly you'll create a world around yourself, which is people who understand you, appreciate you for what you are, but at the same time, they don't take advantage of you. You're not being taken for granted in certain situations or whatever. I mean, that also shouldn't happen. But at the same time, you are not wanting any reciprocation, because you are doing it because it comes from within, and it is not something that you want anything back from that.
Mhm.
And at the same time, some maybe some negative reciprocation comes in, some negative aspect comes in, that should not affect you. So you're not getting affected by the other person's reaction. So
Mhm.
you are being yourself, and you have insulated yourself from what the other person is going to react from that. So you brought yourself out because your good thoughts, good intentions, the other person might think of in a different way. They don't
Mhm.
understand you because they come from a different thought process. They also can't think that there can be a person like this who actually thinks like this. No, there must be something else to it, whatever they might think. Doesn't matter. Let them think, do what they want. You have to, at every point of time, be yourself. And if that aspect changes, that then frustration, I think, would come in,
Mhm.
because this is what you want to be. So I don't know whether that part of it you've noticed, felt somewhere, that you are not expecting, and you're just doing. So
Mhm.
I think that gives you that happiness in that moment. I don't know what you think about that.
Yes, I really appreciate that point of view, and I also do that in my life. And now I'm trying to connect all these things, all these aspects, or these thoughts, or um, this experience. I'm trying to connect to mediation, because as I said, mediation is not a profession for me. It's not a professional. It's a way of thinking and way of living. And when you are appointed as a mediator, the parties who doesn't know what mediation is are trying to are having in mind of a professional who is going to sit in in front of a case. Uh, in that case, for them is very very large issue and very huge topic, and really it's a national case for them. It's a really big thing, and they are trying to they are expecting to see a professional like a lawyer or a judge or whatever, arbitrator, and they see a mediator who is not a judge, is not an arbitrator, it is not a professional, it's something else. It's a third neutral party that is supposed to be very to have some principles in his or her life, that principles are not written. It's for me it's moral principles, uh, like the principles of being neutrality, confidentiality, all these things that you are taking. Mediator is taking for granted what other people are thinking, that it's uh, it's something that they have to give an oath to keep on, to keep these principles. But for mediator is the way that he or she is living, feeling, and all these things are I am trying to connect to any case, and to pass my personal experience from life, and in that case, but in the same time I have to collect any information that is given or not given from the parties, because mostly parties are not very they are not fond of telling things about them to other people that they don't know. And that has to be that great touch between me as a mediator and the parties, to make them feel comfortable and confident with me, to confide in me whatever they have in mind and soul, and to try to seek what is else, because what is else is the point, not to what we see, what is beneath, like we say, this iceberg that is, we only see just the top of it, but beneath the sea is something bigger. And that is really magical. I mean, this is, for me, this is what I really like about mediation and about cases, because I want to dive into in depth, and try to connect my feelings, my experiences with other people's. And when that has international touch, not only national, not only persons that I know how they are, their culture, or when I try to meet persons that have totally different ideas from me, different culture, different feelings, different way of living, personal principles that I really want to explore everything. And that is why I really, that is why I connect the sea, the diving into the sea, with mediation, because I like swimming, I like sea. I want to spend all my life just observing the waves and the sea. And I think mediation is the sea. That is why I told about this this vision that I really and you know, I have not I have never spoken about this, but I really now I can see that I realize also what I want from mediation. Talking about
Yeah.
mediation.
No, actually, very, very interesting. Whatever all that you said comes back to what I was saying earlier. First of all, in that mediation, you are yourself. You are not trying to prove to the parties, first of all, that you are neutral or whatever. Nothing. They will gauge you for what they have to gauge you. But the moment you start wanting to behave in a certain manner that they accept you, or they understand that, yes, you are neutral and everything, I feel that never needs to be done. It'll come from within. And the other thing about different people, different cultures or whatever, I'm saying, beyond all that, there is a person inside. Just connect to that person. Everything else will come fall into place. Getting things from them, the emotions, the information, everything will happen. Just that connection has to happen person to person. It sounds simple to say, but that will only happen when you have removed your layers. You haven't created layers around yourself, that I will only I'll show myself as this. People, someone should think I'm a professional, so I'll behave in this manner. Nothing. Don't have to think about it. The other aspect of it, that it's a very, like you said, spontaneous. You have to be spontaneous. You cannot be thinking, because you don't know what the next sentence is going to come from the person. You have no idea. This is not a story that you have been told earlier. It's all unraveling in front of you right there. So that is why I say that don't think, that the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is picking up so much around it which you can't calculate. You don't know. It's picked up things. Based on that, it's going to give you an output as to, okay, let's ask this person this thing. All that will happen automatically if you go into auto mode. You have to go into auto mode. You are not at all, oh, I've been told this person is from this culture, so like, no, there is nothing like that. There is no culture anywhere. Every person is an individual by themselves. In the same house, people are different. If I deal with you and I deal with Sophia, both of you will be so different for me to say that Sophia and Olga have they're the same people. No, they're not the same people. They're very different people. And they will, if I try to put them in one box, it will not, nothing, things will not happen. So everyone is an individual and a unique individual by itself. So in that whole uniqueness, there is that person inside that I'm saying everyone has that good human being sitting inside. Connecting, once you connect to that good human being, a lot of things get sorted out by itself, because there are things that people, like if I'm saying you have to remove your layers, people have their layers. So if you can go beyond all that, things become so much simpler. And then that connection that happens, then that energy that flows, it's, I think, I like you said, it's, that's magical.
Exactly. But we have obstacles during that procedure. I mean, procedure of life. We have obstacles. The obstacles are some things that other human beings are being affected of, um, because subconscious is something that really can lead one person, can make him or her decide things that in normality shouldn't. Subconscious is something that is really unexplored, even by the one that is that carries this part of soul. And other obstacles are some complexity. Maybe some persons are thinking many things that cannot express, having been trapped in their lives. And I really, this is when something becomes difficult, for me is the best, because the most difficult, the more difficulties I face, the more work I have to do and to be useful. Maybe I will be very frustrated someday, or maybe I want to give up some other day, or maybe I am wondering why I came into that situation. But in the end of the day, and in the end of the project, it's not a project, of course, but for me, it is a project to learn life, because life is not a straight line. It's something that goes up and down every time and makes circles. And I think that maybe that is the way that my Socrates, this ancient rhetor, or whatever, all these ancient people, even in Greece or in India, because I know that you were also, and you are very philosophical humans. I think that maybe the way that you are living is, for us, especially in Greece, is unique. The way of you are managing yourself, you're controlling yourself, all these powers that you really you can really monitor all your your organization as a human, not as an entity. I really think that is something that we, the human, have forgotten, that we have to try to understand all these obstacles, all these problematics, all these notions that we don't have to let them pass, and we have to stress the points, to learn more, to learn in depth. If we don't want that, and if we want to live simple lives, okay, it's a choice, but for me, it's not a good choice. For me, it's something that has it's useless. I don't want to have everything easy. I want to be, to I want to face difficulties, and I want to learn from these things. I don't know if you
Look, no, look, yeah,
understand.
no, I understand. But the important thing, look, Olga, is that you're a beautiful soul, and that beautiful soul should not get affected by everything around it. Instead, your beautiful soul should be affecting things around you, and it takes its time sometimes, but the fact that you are there and you don't get affected by there is, like I said again, I'll go back to that negativity, negative energies around you. If you don't fall into that trap, around you everything slowly you'll see things are people are changing. And let's talk about mediation. In that mediation you will see things changing, as long as you don't get let their negativity affect you. That's the most important thing. You don't question yourself. You are the wonderful person that you are. You are just bringing that person inside, and everything else will fall around it. Everything will happen. But I see what happens lot of times is because of that because obviously there's a lot of negativity. That is what the whole concept of dispute and people's interaction, the negative interaction that's happened over time, all that. Sometimes what happens is the mediator actually gets overloaded with those things. As long as you don't let that come onto you and you be the person you are the light that you are, and you don't let that darkness come around you, everything else will happen. That light will spread. It might take a little bit of time. It takes a long time sometimes, whatever. But if you don't let your light be switched off, that is very important. So how do you do that? And whether you start questioning yourself and you say, well, look, I'm not being able to make a difference. No, you'll make the difference. It'll happen. It might take some time. So I think that part of it, I feel that sometimes, I don't know whether you'll tell me, but I think maybe that is something that gets to you sometimes. That am I really being able to, am I, first of all, questioning yourself that am I on the right, or am I uh, not understanding it? Do I have to change myself? No, you don't have to change yourself. You are perfect. It's just that the environment around you has to change, which you will change. You definitely will change. And how it happens, how much time it takes, that depends. But I don't know whether that part of it you relate to or not.
We are also say a quote that comes like that there are no bad or good persons. That there are only environments that they are living. These persons are either good environments or bad environments, and that affect these human beings, and so uh, they show to others some things that I mean, of course, all human beings are born with not bad ideas or bad feelings and all these things. All human beings are born with so with such a great what can I say? They are pure, they are purified, and the environment is that family environment, the social environment, professional environment, all these things that can make you become either good or bad because you have to face some situations. But that is what we say a lot nowadays. But okay, the environment is something that affects you and makes you either good or bad. What about you? What about your decisions? Why are you leaving this bad environment to affect you? And why don't you change that environment? Or why don't you change and go to other environment? These things are really this interaction. Everything is interaction. Everything is something that you give, you get, and all these things is going on and never stops. Um, what what I really want to see it to be changed is that we are trying to become better, but we have lost the meaning, the notion of what is good, what is better, what better means. Better means to buy a big house with a big car and have lots of money to do whatever you want, because that is what late years has proven as better. this this examples from global life, global lifestyle, and all these things. I don't think that is better. Okay, living in a nice house with nice things, nice goods for you and your family is something that you really appreciate, and you have to feel this experience, to have these goods for your life and for your children's and your family's life. But better is not that for me. Better is doing good for others. Better means improving the way that your children are seeing the world. This to make and not to waste the goods that life gives you. I mean, all this power waste or energy waste or the climate change, all these things are really upon us, are really depend on us. And if we don't stop stealing from the world, from the planet, from each other, all this energy, all this power, and if we don't stop wasting these kind of things, I think that we will no longer be able to live nice lives. I mean, you can see in Greece every summer we have huge fires because of climate change, and in winter we have bad weather, and some places in Greece are having so much snow, and some people are died from this environmental changes. And we just see in the TV all these things that are happening, and we just we are doing nothing to stop that. We're wasting everything that it's not ours, and that is a huge disappointment, because you are feeling so incapable of changing some things that are affecting our lives. And that's a great, huge discussion, of course. And but it's an element that we have to have in mind, that what is best for us.
But
We
but
have
only
to.
thing, yeah. Before I was very interesting thing what you're saying, but we'll get to that. Before that, I'll just tell you that Shifan, who's watching it on YouTube, has a nice comment to make. She says, relating to this beautiful and spontaneous conversation so perfectly. Thanks, Vikram Singh and Ms. Olga. Okay. So thank you,
Thank you so
Shifan.
much.
I'm not writing it there, so Shifan, I'm just saying it here. So that,
Thank
no,
you
but I
very
think,
much.
yeah, but I think, I tell you, the thing is that inner contentment, when that comes, and then when you can tell yourself that you are actually privileged with everything that you have around you, you're privileged. I mean, if you look at it from the larger perspective of the world, you are privileged. But if you are looking at in terms of material things, there is no end to it. There is no end to it. I was telling, there was in conversation with Beautiful Mind with Andrea from Ireland, and in that I was telling her that there was this builder, property developer in India. They took money from these buyers and they created structures, only the concrete structures, and they picked up more money. They created concrete structures, but they didn't complete those. So today, and then they obviously they siphoned out the money because of the greed, And then now today we have this large township, only concrete structures, houses have not been completed, and these are people who've given their life savings thinking that they'll get a house tomorrow. That did not happen. But because I in some way know these people, who these people are and what their life, the life that they lead, they have a competition within themselves. When they get that much money, this person bought a 5-seater private jet, I have to buy a 7-seater private jet. And to get there, it doesn't matter whose life saving you took, what
Only
you did to those
concrete
people.
structures, houses have not been completed. And these are people who've given their life savings thinking that they'll get a house tomorrow. That did not happen. But because I, in some way, I know these people,
Well,
who these people
this
are,
is
and
playing
what
on your
their
side.
life
Is
lead.
it playing on your?
They have
Hmm? That was playing inside you on your system. Well, I could hear that on this side. So I'm just saying that that aspect of it, there is no end to that as part of it. But at the other end, there is what is that basic that is required now if you have to for your daughter. What is that basic that you must give her? So people don't know that. They don't know this range. So they are lost as to where do they fall. And I don't blame them, because who tells them? Tells them, okay, if you have this, this is perfect for you, because your daughter is growing up in an environment, she's looking at things online, she's seeing people's photographs of holidaying somewhere, someone's buying something, all those material aspect of things that they are seeing. Now, how do you explain to a child whom you brought into this world, who's exposed to all this, to tell that child, no, do not have to think about that, don't, you don't need all this, this is what you have and you have to be happy in it? How do you explain to that child? Because they're also growing up in a society where they are seeing things around them. So because of that, then the parent also falls into that trap, because look, I have to give them this, I have to give them this, I have to give them this, and then they keep on doing that. So to create that balance, the value system is what is important, and this is what you picked up from your grandmother. That value system that you got, that created that balance in you. And this is the only thing that can create balance around, say, with your daughter or anyone else around you. So how do you bring that value system into play? What is it that they need to know? What is it that you have to tell them? That is where philosophy of life and culture and all those things, that is what it was all about, which got lost. Because how do you value something which, a few words, few sentences, I mean, if you sat with your grandmother and she told you some nice things, you valued it, it went in your, again I said, it goes into your subconscious. It's not that at that, when you're that young, you're also understanding everything that you've been told, but it is going inside somewhere, so you, it's all seeping in. So but these today, those words are not out there for these children. You are not being able to sit with them and maybe tell them all that you got. So I think that is what we need to bring out, that value system, and create that around them. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I agree, and I was while I was hearing now you, I was making thoughts, and when first of all the parents, all persons, either we have families or not, we have to stick into creating a value system, because exactly what we have lost the last years is value system. We or no, we don't have lost. We have underestimating the value system that we used to have, and we have we have been affected by other value system that is really valuable, like the lifestyle that we talked about. So what makes the difference for me is don't be afraid to say no. And that I make an experiment that's not good to tell, but I'm I'm confessing that I'm making an experience. I have two children, the daughter who is almost 16 and the son who is almost 6. This great 10 years different age difference is something unique, because that made me realize the mistakes I made with my daughter, and I'm trying to correct with my son. And I see that I will not stop making mistakes, even if I correct the mistakes that I have already done. So with my daughter, I was very generous. I was buying everything she wanted or maybe not wanted. I was really offering everything, and to my son, I don't do anything, even the small one, even a gift or something very, very small. And I see the difference between these children who are mine. I'm the same mother for the both of my children. And I see that for my daughter, everything is granted. I mean, she always takes for granted that she will have all these materials that she doesn't need. And for my son, is something different. He appreciates everything, even he doesn't have them. I mean, he appreciates the moment that he will owe a gift, or he asks me, Mom, when are you going to buy me a toy? And I am telling him, okay, at your birthday, I will buy you a toy. And he's so happy for that toy that is going to be bought in his birthday. And I see my daughter who doesn't appreciate anything that she has. So I think that it's better to say no, and to explain why is no, to justify this no thing, because children are not okay with no. They don't take a no as an answer. And I think that again, it's my grandmother. When I asked her to buy me an LP, these days, these days that I was very young, it wasn't. We didn't have CDs. We had LPs and gramophones and all these things. I asked her for my grandmother to buy me an LP with music songs, and she told me, no, it's not Christmas. When it's you don't need that LP now. I'm going to buy that LP when it's Christmas. And I told her, okay, I'm anxious for that. And when Christmas came and she bought me that present, first of all, I was so happy she remembered to buy me that present. She promised me to buy, and I was so happy that I thought that I had gold, 100 stones of gold in my home, and I was taking that LP, and I was mailing it, and I was seeing from the other side. It was something that it was my treasure, and all these things, all these small feelings that are adding in our lives while we are getting older, are something that lead to appreciation, and that appreciation for us to be in life, first of all, to smell, to see, to walk, to talk, to all these things that we have for granted but are not granted. We have to be so grateful for our lives, for us to be here and discuss all these nice things, for everything that we experience. And that is something that is lost from the person's appreciation of living, of feeling, of joining with other persons. Everything is for granted because they didn't experience the no word. all of us had everything, and that led us to take everything for granted. It's not like that. It's not, our lives is not for granted. It's something that we have to work every day, every hour, to be grateful for that. And I experienced that with my children. The lack of appreciation, though she's a good child, it's not a bad child, but she lacks of appreciation. She takes things for granted. And the son, who is really grateful for everything, every inch of of the things that we give to him. And I think that is something that we have to have in mind, to take no for granted also, not only yes, and to take our life seriously, not for granted, but to be honored for us, to feel, to smell, to see, and all of these things.
That's why I say sometimes that we should celebrate being alive. That is what I think by itself is a celebration. In celebration of being alive, we just do that. And I think look again. I'm saying that I won't blame your daughter also, because, like I said, that how do you appreciate when you haven't seen the other side? So sometimes I feel they should see other parts of the way people live in whatever conditions, and they are still happy. So to show that happiness doesn't come from the material part of it. Happiness is in within you. So how does that person reach that point? Because of the social circle that you have created for them. In that social circle, there is always going to be that competition, that I got this, did you get this? They'll keep doing that. But there is a social circle beyond that, which could be, I don't know where it could be. I mean, if you're connected to people or say relatives somewhere else who might be living in a different social circle where materialism might still not have happened. I don't know. I mean, I can't say, but that materialism has actually seeped in everywhere. So I'm not saying there will be another social circle where that hasn't seeped in. But if they can look around them, they can maybe meet other people, travel beyond this box that they're living in, and interact with people on a, it's like a person to person interaction. It's not based on anything more than that. Then I think the appreciation might come in. I mean, I don't know whether it will, but I think it can. So I think that part of it, when will they get the opportunity? Now that's the only point. Where will they get that opportunity? Who are these other children that they can interact with? So I think that mix kind of a kind of social interaction that they need, I think maybe that is also missing, because where are they going to meet those people, other people? It's going to be that maybe that school of the school that they're in that they have these few friends. It is going to be between them. Maybe where you live, there'll be a few people they interact with, but the larger interaction, there was this concept of sending people to camp. People went to camp, so then you interacted with different people from all over. Maybe you went trekking somewhere, so you were traveling with other people where there was no concept of any material thing. You were just spending time with each other. So maybe
Yes.
those were exposure. That was exposure that helped. I don't know. I don't know. What you think?
Also, that is very close to the thought I had when I was a little child. Now I have forgotten that. That I was always my dream, and that is for, I don't think I have shared that with many persons, maybe with my sister. My dream was to travel, not with airplane, or to travel even with a car all over the world, like this circle of the world. I would like to go all over the world with a car, to stay to each country, to meet the people, to talk with them, to live their lives, to go in their neighbors, to see how they are, where are they going to have, where, how is supermarkets, or how they are cooking their breakfast, their lunch, how they are, which jokes are make them laugh, and all these things. I was really, I think that this is a treasure. If you have this ability to travel all over the world, not only as a tourist with an airplane and to a great hotel, etc., but living persons' lives, meeting persons from all over the world. It's every part of the world, and try to see how they're really living. So that was my dream. I cannot have my dream.
No, it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. Only thing what I'm suggesting is don't go in the car. Use public transport, because the interaction that you have with people in a place on public transport, the conversations you can have, you will not experience it otherwise. So I've enjoyed that. So there is no concept of you even planned travel. You are not even maybe booked a hotel. You are just traveling. You take a bus, you can take a train, you're interacting with people there, getting to know new things which you would never go know. And you will realize that in that space, because now in that space, you are just an individual who has nothing more than what that you bring on that seat. That's all you are. So that connection that you get is on a person to person level. That's totally a person to person. You are no one there. You are just that individual. But because otherwise, like you said, if you go to a certain hotel or whatever, there is certain thing that's created around you and a space that is created around you. Here there is no such thing. It is just you and that person. So those interactions become very nice. I think that is why I sometimes feel that a car kind of insulates you from that, because okay, you travel from one, maybe you go to a restaurant, maybe you might interact with people there, but the interaction that happens living life there as what they live. So you're not thinking of, okay, I have to visit these touristy places, because obviously that life there is not really that country. I mean, even in Greece, those touristy places don't reflect Greeks. It reflects those people who are part of the tourism industry. It's not, it's not to be able to take back from there that Greeks are like that. It won't be correct. The same way when you come to India and you go and visit the Taj Mahal, the people that you will interact as part of that will not represent the country. They know how to deal with tourists. Okay, that's their job. That's what they do. But that won't reflect, that interaction will not be in the same way. But if you just go out a little bit beyond that, and you actually deal with people, you'll realize that there's such beautiful people out there, and they don't want anything from you. Nothing. It's just that nice conversation and then move on. So that's what I've really enjoyed. Whichever country I've gone to, I've always traveled like that. And it's really been nice.
Yes, great points, and really, that is. I might be the only one Greek person who talk to anyone in the in the road. I mean, waiting for a bus in the bus station or wherever. I'm talking to everyone who is willing to talk with me, and I don't know. 50 years ago, Greeks were like that. They were always say hello to each other, even they don't know each other and didn't know each other or whatever. And now I see sad faces licked down. I mean, they don't they see each other in the bus, in the road, and might be the only person that I seek for an eye to be on me, or a hello, or something, a topic for discussion, or something to experience together as a common experience, to exchange feelings. That is something unique, and I really like the way that you said that, and I agree. I totally agree with you.
Look,
I like that.
in a country like India, we're large rural population. Okay, so I'm still not saying that the rural population has not been affected by materialism. You can't, with the whatever your television is bringing in from all over the world, everyone is influenced by it. I'm not saying that is not happening, but a large chunk has not got influenced by it. So it's so nice when you interact with them. I mean, we were traveling somewhere in India, and there was this large park kind of a thing, and we were just sitting there, and these women were working in that park, and they were sitting and they were having their lunch, and I was just sitting there, and they offered their lunch, whatever basic thing that they got from home, but they wanted to share. I don't see that happening otherwise. I mean, imagine that feeling you want to share with this person who is sitting there. It's just, these are very basic things which are getting lost. What is, I mean, you get a lunch from home, it's not that you are going to carry for an extra person. So you are going to cut onto what you are going to get for yourself for this other person. Just that, call it little sacrifice, but it is a major step for a person.
And
So I'm saying, yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but that offer, that kind of offer, that you brought your food to eat for yourself, and you have to share a part of it with some other. It's not only sharing food, it's just a way, a link to start a communication with someone else, or start this connection with someone else. That's why I think it's a very generous thing from both sides, to give and to take, in order to come together and make that connection, to make that connection happen. I think it's the vehicle to try to connect with each other.
And the important thing in that is that the person doesn't want anything from you. That's the best part. So that interaction, and it comes from within. It's not even saying that, okay, I want an interaction with you, I just want to do it, which is what I'm saying. A person like you would do the same thing. It just comes from within. You don't want anything from it. It's just, okay, you're sitting, there's someone sitting there, let's share. So I think that these very basic feelings, for some reason, either people are told not to do it, and then whatever the reasons for that, no, you should not interact with strangers, and then slowly that culture seeps in, and then everyone starts living in their silos, that they will not interact with the next person, those conversations don't happen. Like I said, a large rural population, and traveling in India, in that part of, I mean, interacting in buses or trains, you will realize that yes, there is still that feeling there. It's still there.
Yes.
Otherwise, whether if you're traveling, okay, I'm not saying that in an aircraft it would not happen. It can still happen, but it'll be different. The atmosphere is very different. And if you, because everyone is like wanting to share, I just see that part of it. I don't say, I'm sure Greece is also like that. I will not say that. It will definitely be like that. How much of, I don't know whether it's again rural population, I keep putting it down to rural population, but that's not true. It is, I think it's just that culture, that upbringing, the value systems that, maybe like you said, maybe the Indian, the philosophies that you brought up in, the whatever other good thoughts and good words that are put into you when you were growing up, all those things matter. But is that getting passed down to the next generation? That I still have my apprehensions of whether that is happening or not. So that is where we need to pass down, whether we are doing a good job, or is social media doing a better job? Are the influencers doing a better job than us? That is where the problem is.
But I think, especially for your culture and population, at least the way that news are coming in my ears, because I don't know the real life in your country or your area, but I think that you have retained some principles that are not so easily biased, and I mean, you still have all these values. I think that your children are better and more show more appreciation to elder people, or they are listening. They are offering their place in the bus, for example, or I think that you are still keeping some principles that we have lost in my community, at least I don't see them very often. I feel that you are better than us because not I don't want to say good things for you, but I think that it's the truth that while we are going Western, I think things are not so good in comparison to other nations. Like in Asia, I think Asia is more. The persons are better, show appreciation, have other principles, affect for each other, and I think that at least how I receive you as information, I'm not capable of.
No, Olga, because obviously we'll have to generalize because of the fact that being such a large country, but exactly the problems that you are facing is exactly what we are facing. It's not that any difference. I'm saying urbanization definitely a factor, changes things, definitely changes things, because families become smaller. It's like you, again, I'll go back to your grandmother part of it, because I'm saying that's a very solid foundation for you. So as children are growing up, they're not spending time with their grandchildren, their grandparents. So all of them don't have that support available all the time. Maybe they'll visit, maybe they do, but nuclear families are being created. So whether they have that, whatever that value system being put across, whether that's happening on that side, then are, like you said, elders being respected over time in the society that these children are growing up. The fact that materialism is what is respected, money is what is respected, that seeps into their mind. So it is then a matter of not the elder, but definitely the material aspect of it, which will be what they think needs to be respected. So that's seeping down to them also. It's not that. But because I would still say that because we have a large population, and again, go back to the rural part of it, we still maybe have still a hope there that things have not changed so much at that place. I mean, if you look at 60% of the population being in the rural areas, and with 1.3 billion people, we are still a large population in terms of numbers, huge numbers, which are there, which I still feel that, because look, the thing is, India also at in 1991, there was liberalization that took place. Before that, in terms of basics, there was a particular scooter which used to sell in India, and people used to wait maybe 2-3 years to get that. It was a waiting list kind of thing. A gas connection used to take time for people to get. Car was like, there used to be these two manufacturers, because everything was controlled. The few people who were doing whatever they're doing, and licenses, and there are a lot of factors happening. So that was not available. Suddenly 1991 we had liberalization. So the inflow of goods totally changed. Everything changed. So that definitely, the people growing up at that time, they're affected by the whole influx of things happening around them. So I feel that after having lived through that for so many years, slowly, definitely people might go back to, I feel, I still have that hope that they will be able to look through this material aspect of it, and then start respecting people for being people. They're the people they are. Respecting, or even I would say appreciating, the life that they have, and being content with what they have. I still have hope. I mean, I'm not saying that it's happening, or I can't really look into, because as I said, it's a huge country, but I still have hope that things might not be that bad. Yes, in terms of the urban population affected by the Western culture, because that is what is coming through, be it through Netflix or other whatever medium that you are bringing it in. A certain conditioning is being done to you. And I keep giving that example from a very basic thing, is about alcohol. The way alcohol is promoted in TV series, in movies, every little thing happens. There has to be some, I don't know for what reason, sitting in a law office, which I have never seen that happening, that suddenly a whiskey is being served in our middle of nowhere. It's just a conversation happening, discussing a case, and suddenly you have alcohol comes out. Where does it happen? But that's the conditioning that's being done. Same thing with partying. That is what your children are going to pick up. Oh, You have to celebrate. You have to have some alcohol, be it a beer or celebration means champagne being opened. It's conditioning which has happened over tens of years. I mean, I keep saying I've seen movies in the black and white era. From that period onwards, the fact that I don't know how much money these alcohol companies spend, but right from there, I mean, there's no relevance of it. But
Yes.
same thing with smoking. There's no relevance of it, but it's being pushed as if this is the way to be. So the, the children are going to be conditioned. So everything is going to be around that. In terms of a party, yes, there has to be alcohol. When we are going out, we should be drinking because that is what they've seen in a movie. So I'm not even blaming them because conditioning happens that way. So this is one thing that I can see, and I can tell you about it. What about all the other conditioning that is happening, which is subtle, which we don't even get to know, because over tens of years, when you're watching something, value systems that are being pushed to you in a subtle way, slowly, it's coming through to you. You change the structure of your society, your thinking, everything can change based on that. So it's a very strong medium. It's a very strong content which is coming to you, which we don't realize. We take, because I'm saying a child when growing up has a mind which is going to pick up things which we also don't know what they're going to pick up from it. We don't know. Every child is different. What they pick up is different. So I am saying that the culture that is developing is culture that they are seeing through this medium, and social media is also important. What they're seeing, so they don't know the difference between that. Okay, this is something that is being pushed to us. This is not the way it happens everywhere. Even in the US, if Hollywood brings something to us, it's not that the culture in the US is like that. If you go into some parts of the US, they are more traditional than maybe Greeks are or Indians are. There's some parts of the US which are like that. So it doesn't mean that they represent the US, but people think that's the US. No, it is
Yes.
content which is being pushed to us. So for our job is actually to filter that for our children, to explain that to our children. But there is so much they're exposed to that where are we going to keep doing it? That's what the problem is.
And it's in general, I mean, okay, you may try to control, let's say, your children, but the children of from school are not controlled the way that you want to control your children, and this is a disaster because children cannot see future. They see only the moment. Parents, on the other hand, of course, can see the moment and the future together. And that's, yesterday my daughter told me I'm going to write at school an essay about this family diversity. I mean, the parents and the children, how they are facing things differently, and the gaps that they have between them. And I told her, yes, we are talking about gaps between children and parents, but you don't have to consider that there are gaps in a precise way of thinking, because it's not really the gaps that are different between you and me. It's that I know your moment and I know the next moment, but you can see only your moment. You're not able to see what comes next. So you want something now, and I want something forever. And that is the diversity that you translate that diversity as a gap. It's not a gap. It's something that it's continuity. But you don't have the ability to see that because maybe you don't prefer to see that. You cannot have this. If you could see that, you would be able to be also a parent, to have your own family, to vote in the elections, to drive a car, or whatever. So it's not really a gap. Of course, some sometimes parents forget how they were thinking when they were children, and they are because of they are afraid of showing to their children something bad, or their children become not so good as they have in mind. They are trying to be very severe, very they are trying to be very strict or whatever. I'm not strict as a mother, but I'm very strict as thoughts. I mean, when I say something, I mean it, and nobody is going to change my reply or my answer. But I'm very, very near to my children, and sometimes I hear the same music as my children. I see the same things in TikTok or in Instagram with my children, because I want to see how they are thinking, how they are feeling, what they are seeking. They are seeking. They have so much information that really, really derail their mind from the truth.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. This is
This
I would definitely,
Yes,
yeah. After you finish, I'm going to definitely talk
yes,
about
yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think yes,
Yeah. No, no,
yes.
no, please.
This information, that is. I will stop, and I want to hear you. So much information that really control their mind and derail them.
Exactly. I'll give you this example because I keep telling people you have to be very, very careful about this also, because what is happening is that they have these influencers on Instagram. So they put out a little post, maybe 4 lines, but that 4 lines, these children take as gospel truth
Yes.
because the influencer has put it out. Now, I have to be, because of course my daughter is much older than your daughter, but I still have to, in whatever way, explain in simple way, do my research and explain to her what is being put out here. This is the background to it. This person doesn't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know the facts. It is so easy for them to just put it out, and it's a very dangerous thing that's happening, because now these influencers have millions of people who are connected to them. There are millions of followers. Now, why is that person putting it? First, like I said, the medium was television, and society gets conditioned by these subtle things which are going out. Now, these followers for themselves might not start with it, but they also can have an agenda. They might have an agenda. They might not be that aware. Could be that lack of information, lack of understanding, could be that, whatever the reasons might be. But what is going out for these children, those 4 lines, as what they take up. So there was one, I mean, a kind of a controversy issue which was created, a national issue it became. It was based on some act which was amended. It was a 2-page amendment. Now, there was this influencer who put out things which was totally false, what the person was saying. Now, I had to take my daughter through an interview that particular influencer had given, saying, I haven't even read that act, that amendment. 2 pages also that person hasn't read, gone out and put posts on Instagram. These children pick up from there. Now facts are gone. There's no concept of facts now. They don't, I'm saying, all I told her, okay, now this is the 2 page, read this. This is the background to it, even to the extent that the Supreme Court has said this. There is this particular act which has been passed much earlier. It said this. I had to put all that down, and not in words. I had to type it all out on WhatsApp and send it to her, because that's when they understand. When they actually see it in typed words, then they understand what you're talking about. I mean, imagine the research I had to do only because that influencers one post which had no factual background to it. It was totally wrong what was said. Only for that one post I had to go through so much effort. So that is how much it's a good thing to be connected what they're doing, and being with them, being comfortable with you and telling you what they are seeing and what they're getting influenced by, because you will have to explain to them. They will not take your word for it. because the influencer's word has more weightage than yours. So please remember that you are going to be a second class citizen in this sense. So, so if
I
that,
have,
yeah,
I have a clue to give you in order to try to have a simpler life. Become an influencer. If you become an influencer, you can have any information shared, and nobody is going to say that you're not correct or you are wrong.
I am putting out influencers like you. I want influencers like you to be out there putting out these good thoughts. People should imbibe those good values and good thoughts from you. That is that's what I have to do.
That is very, as I said in the beginning, it's a great project. The great detailed genius thing that we are trying. But I think that you are the influencer, and you attract us to highlight all these issues. And I think that no, it's not. I think it's a question mark. Why are you not an influencer with millions or dozens or billions of followers that are going to learn so many things from you? And why are we trapped on a lifestyle that we approve, influencers that doesn't really have anything to share with us, only image. Uh, I, okay, I like good lifestyle. I like living great, but this food of mind that I get from you every time I hear you, and every time I experience issues with you, is something that has to become greater influencer, not you know.
Thank you for those very kind words. But well, look, the way I'm going about it is that whether you heard this earlier, I said, look, I have to find those 1,000 people like you, and you find those 1,000, because if you, think that you have a very good value system and the beautiful soul that you are, if you are going to find people are going to be like you. So imagine if my 1,000 get those 1,000 into the picture, we have 1,000,000 people out there. So that's, and because look, this is, I'm telling you, first of all, the responsibility to find the right people. And then after that, it's a continuous process. I mean, you have to interact with people to be able to, because when you're putting because when you're putting someone out, it is someone who's going to be out there. Their words mean something. I mean, if I am saying, in a way, look, I am endorsing the person, which is which is important for me. And because people like you have to be out there. I mean, all that you have to share, it's not about mediation. It's not about that. It's about life, about as a person. I'll keep saying value system, because value system is what has gone missing somewhere. So that value system that you bring in, everything else falls around it. And I'm saying mediation also falls around that, because those good intentions that you come in with, that good, those you can't put good intentions into someone. You can't put good thoughts into someone. Those are within you. So when you come with those good intentions and those good thoughts in a mediation or in life, with family, with your community, wherever, automatically things fall around that. So all that I want is that those people with those good intentions, those good thoughts, if we can all connect with each other. I think we can do something good as we go along. It's been an year since I started this channel. It's been 1 year. Is what is 1 year in a life? That 1 year of thing. But you can see in that 1 year, so many nice people have. You also noticed. I might have gone wrong, maybe once or twice, maybe, maybe. but okay, that's okay. 1% rejection rate is allowed. I'm sure it is allowed, because look, the thing is that there is certain part of people that as you interact, you get to know a little better. I'm not saying they're not the bad people, but I do not want to bring out certain parts of them. So I feel I've gone wrong somewhere. Very rare, and people can make that out. They'll make it out as they go along. But so now the important thing is to keep finding those people. And the good part is there are so many of them. You just have to connect with them in some way. So it was earlier someone was saying, like, you put out so much content in a month. I said, there are so many people. I can't stop myself. It's not that okay, I will have 4 people. No, there's so many people that need to go out, and different aspects of them that need to grow. Like today we're talking here. Now you were in the symposium, that was another part of you. This is another part of you. Now you're going to be giving a lecture on my lecture series. That's going to be another part of you. Then my vision 2026 on one of these areas like heart, soul, and spirituality. Definitely you have to speak about that. So that'd be another part of you. So many dimensions of you also have to be brought out.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think it's a work in progress. Putting everything together. But yeah.
And we have to come together one day. I mean, we have to maybe meet somewhere sometime, because I think that all this interaction will become greater when we will see each other in person, and connect all these energies together. Maybe we will have an what can I say, magic moment.
Oh, okay. So now I have to refine the whole thing to bring those people together. But I was thinking that this online world is working so well. It
Yes,
is.
yes.
I am quite happy with it. I look, for me, that connection happens. A lot of people don't. They still feel that no, they have to meet in person to really get to know the person. For me, it does. I'm not required. That
Mhm.
connection happens online. So I'm very happy with that. For me, life is that so much simpler, because I mean, look, the time that you save, because when you meet, you have to meet. There is nothing else that you have to spend time on travel and everything. So I found the online world quite good for me, and I've been able to do a lot of work. I mean, people don't see the other side of it. This conversation we're having behind the conversation also, there's so much work that happens. Social media, so much work happens. Oof, it takes a lot of time. So I'm thinking even one trip to Greece or wherever else you go, in that trip, so much will get lost. That's what I keep thinking.
Yes, I did. It's from this perspective. Really, I agree, totally agree. And of course, with this online and this internet connection, I think that we have more inputs, more human beings that are connected, that couldn't maybe in person be connected. So that's the great privilege we have, and I really thank God that it was COVID that, for me at least, was. This global connection happened through these tough years, and I met so many persons in net that I couldn't meet in person, because that cost money. That's the truth. Money and time, of course, because you have to travel all over the world to see all these persons that you met online very simply from your home, and that's very good. That's the advantage of this era. But when you meet someone, you can see holistic view of his or her personality. I mean, the language is not only the only the talking language is not only the only language that a human being speaks. Body language is very, very precious. The whole personality, how they are acting, they are not acting, they are yes, acting in a area that you cannot. Again, I observe persons. I observe how they are moving, how they are talking, how they are eating. I really like to observe persons, and that is something that I missed through this internet era and this internet period. But okay, you lose something, you gain something else,
No, but
and
Olga, I tell
the
you,
balance.
No, you might not even think, but you have picked up a lot about how to read people, because people are reading people all the time. What you have picked up from the online world today, you are picking up things from more from the tone of the person. Now you don't have the body to look at, but maybe you have some smaller things that you're looking at. You don't know yourself also, because over this time, because this was in 2000, but just after the pandemic had started, there was some interviews I had given somewhere, and I was telling them that this whole thing, people had this big apprehension about body language and everything. I said, look, the body, a person loses out over time. Say a person who cannot see, noise, the way they pick up from noise and just the tone of a person, they can pick up a lot from that, because that's all they can see. I mean, in the sense, not even see. They can. That's all that they can. That input is that's what they have. So they can read that better. So I'm saying with us also, over time, we will pick up much more about people from the limited inputs that we get. So I think that part of it, I have no problem with that. I mean, I look, for me, if you see, if you say that all these people that I bring out, I would have gauged them only online. That's the only way I would have. But there is something that can come about the person that comes out, which comes out. Sometimes it just comes out even without saying anything. So
Yes.
we pick up a lot from about people, and I think we should be able to tell ourselves, yes, that ability we have. We don't really need to even know more about them, because sometimes we get misled by things which was earlier what was programmed in us, that this is how you have to read people. No, I believe that you don't have to read people. I'm saying that there is just this connection that happens,
Yes.
and that connection is all that matters. I mean, that's nothing else that is required. Beyond that, what other things around the person there are, because, okay, like you said, how they eat, now there's something that the person has grown up with. Okay, that's the way they are in terms of habits or whatever. But the person inside, that person you sometimes lose connection with, because you looking at something on the outside, which the person might not have had that much of maybe a thought on. That, okay, like a simple thing, how I eat is not, they're not thinking about, they're just eating. But the connection with the person, sometimes if it gets affected in terms of language, a lot of people gauge people in the way they're pronouncing words.
Yes.
I, I'm saying this go beyond all that. I mean, look, I interact with people from all over the world. It just doesn't matter to me how does it matter how they pronounce a word? Do I understand it? Yes, I understand it. And that's all that matters. That's why I'm saying that sometimes the reading that people are doing about people, I think that needs to just stay away. There is just that pathway to the soul. You have to get as much into it. You might not be able to get totally there with everyone, but that is what the pathway is there, and it might go through the mind, through the heart, into the soul. So how much you can do that, and where, with how many people you can get there, that is the connection that is required. And that's the way I look at it.
And that concept is something that I just have experienced through you, through your perspective, and you are right. You know, you are right. It's I have never thought about it. I have never focused on that. And you're right. We are seeing everything in the background, near, up, down, and we don't focus on what it really matters. And it's also something that we have discussed that is happening in all our lives, but now we have I have a new concept, and you just helped me to see that. And
So
it's I'm
something good has come out of our conversation.
I'm surprised. Really. I'm really surprised.
Look, I'm telling you, people are surprised when they tell me that, look, you interact with people from various parts of the world. How do you manage? I also have to tell them, look, most of these people, I have never ever communicated with them earlier. They come on my show. That's the first time I'm meeting them. First time I'm interacting with them. But the connection happens and the conversation flows. Because, like I said, first, you don't want anything from anyone. It's just that moment that you're spending together. You're not gauging them for anything more than what the person is. Nothing else. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. So that connection, and then you are being yourself. That's all you have to be, which is what is the most difficult thing for people. You'll be very surprised. They just don't want to be themselves because maybe they feel that they will not be accepted for the person they
Yeah,
are. I am saying
exactly.
that there's almost 8 billion people on this planet. There will be enough who will accept you for what you are. And that's the world you have to create around you. I do use the word, I say, look, I live in a bubble. But I am saying that that's a world that I create around myself. The people who I want to interact with, and the it's a communication, a two-way street kind of thing. So just bring those people together, and you'll see that that is a world by itself. I don't have to read the news, and don't have to see what's happening in every part of the world. I can't be part of everything that's happening in the world, but I can be part of the world that I create around myself. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, it might be a bubble, but it's my world. And there's nothing wrong in that world. That's a world by itself also. Those are also individuals. Only thing they might be in different parts of the world, but they're brought together. So that's where the online world comes in.
And I think that is the sentence that we have to keep, and I will share from now on to everyone that I will meet. I don't care if I am expected to the world, because I decide the world that I can interact and I am accepted, and I know better. I know I have this acknowledge of my word, and that is something that I will keep in my mind. I will really have this motto, this quote in my life from now on, and that is your words. I
But
really admire that
and the
that you
important
just
thing, the
said.
most important thing, Olga, is that always start with the basics that you learn in the legal profession. Innocent up till proven guilty. Just tell yourself that a person is the best human being that you're dealing with, that this is the best person in the world. Start from there. Then if in the interaction, whatever comes in and how you perceive the person, let it flow from there. But today the problem is everyone starts with making people start as being guilty, and then let us go forward with the relationship. How's the relationship going to go forward in any way if you already started with the block in your mind, that and you're going to be looking at every aspect of the person, trying to gauge the person? Then you're not being yourself, because you're now gauging. I'm saying that's the best human being. You are being yourself, and you see the interaction, how it happens. I find it great. I mean, you see it. I put everything out on YouTube, so all my interaction, you see, it just becomes such a beautiful interaction, because you don't want anything. You are being yourself. The other person is the best human being in the world. Everything flows. But only thing, Olga, what has not happened is I haven't taken you through what is coming in February, which I know should have done earlier, but let me do it right now. I have to take you. I know I've taken a lot of your time, but you have to give
No.
me 2 minutes more. And okay, so you've seen the post, so that's a different thing. A lot everyone does hasn't seen the post. So this is someone who lives in Greece. You might meet in person sometime. You'll maybe able to connect to this person. So this is happening in the next half an hour, 25 minutes, this lecture. So she's also, I mean, I don't know whether you've seen her Evolution of a Mediator episodes, but a really wonderful person. And this topic seems very interesting to me. Just ICE, collaborative poetry, and climate change mediation. So you must watch that. If you want to attend it, you can also attend it. It's the same Zoom link. You can be part of it. This is, like I said, on the Vision 2026. This discussion is going to be on heart, soul, and spirituality. So similar one we can have one with you also. I can have one. We can have on this topic, or you can go through on mediatorvikram.com. I've put some topics out there. So any other topic that you want to have discussion with, just let me know. We'll have a discussion on that. Then Constantia, Brazil. I keep telling people about her. In her lifetime, she wants to practice as a full-time mediator. She's looking for that to happen. So imagine what kind of emotions are there with people who have the passion. So we have to create that environment. So Mahatma Gandhi and mediation should be an interesting thing. These people are Gandhians in their thought process. So let's see what should be interesting. This is Elena. I don't know whether you saw that little video that I put up, that small clip that she had sent on New Year. I really liked that. I mean, really, it was such nicely put out. That's the fact that it came with so much that from Russia with love kind of thing. It's really nice. So that's about it. Then we have this. This is on that other series that are doing Mediator experiences. This is obviously now become more of a Weinstein Jams International Fellows experiences for some time. Let me cover them and then we'll do other. But the idea was that memorable experiences in any way in the mediation world. So Eleni also is, she's Cyprus and Greece. Then Isaac, I don't even have seen him, one of the shows that he keeps coming in. Then this one is mediation visionaries. So he the larger thing. Yeah, yes. Did you end up making a practice group in Greece?
He emailed me. Michael emailed me. I responded, and now we waiting for Michael to send me all the details to join. Yes, we have.
And then that other series that I started with him, that Mediator
I
Reflects.
I love Michael. Just that's why I'm very enthusiastic when I meet him.
So then that Mediator Reflects, we will do one with your practice group that you get into. We'll do that on that live thing. And this is Bernie Maier's book, Neutrality Trap, to discuss that. And I don't know whether you saw part one of this. This was Danny Weinstein is the one, the founder of that Jams and Jams Foundation and the Weinstein Foundation. So he's doing a lot of work there. So this Weinstein Fellows that he's picked up, chosen, he's done a very good job on that. I mean, I've met all these people and they're really nice. And then last day of the month, celebrate the birthdays of the month. So that's how much time I have to take of yours to put it out. Because there is, I'm telling you, this the problem is the posts, these LinkedIn posts or social media. How many posts will you see? You won't even get to know. So I don't know. I keep telling people that at least either subscribe to the channel, you'll get to know when some videos put up, or even on LinkedIn and all. If with next to the person's profile, there's a bell icon. If you press that bell icon, then you can get to know when that person puts a post. I'm just wanting people to make life easier for me, because to keep putting out posts, okay, I can keep putting them out, but how many people will see it? So that's, we have to find some way to do that.
When I see any post of yours, either in Facebook, LinkedIn, or wherever, I try to repost it in order to make this news to spread and this information, because I think that this information is something that is really good for the society. And as I said, you have to be an influencer because it's a great affection that you can bring in life, in one's life. So
you don't realize, Olga, how much you will bring in. You will be the influencer. You don't realize that. That's what's going to happen. And your YouTube channel is out there, and you are putting out these conversations. You will see that part coming in. So when are you doing that? That is important, which is what I'm telling you, that 1,000 people that I'm saying over time that I can put together. If each of them have the same conversations, you have YouTube channels, you're bringing in 1,000 people only. Imagine that's the influence that can happen. I mean, in fact, you can say influencer in that sense. I want the influence happening, that the good people are bringing in more good people into the picture. And it's very selective. You have to be really selective. It's not, I mean, it's not numbers. It is really getting the right people. So that is why that it has to be done this way, that you will bring more people. Do it this. I mean, I'm not saying I'm doing it the best way, but at least what I'm doing, I think is similar, something that you can do. Things can change, because which is what I said, one village, one community, one school. Just pick those three up. And just all I'm doing, I don't know, you won't be able to, obviously, you won't be able to understand. There was with some villagers in one part of India, I did one session. It's in Hindi, so you won't be able to understand that. But only this, that, okay, who are those people in your village whom people trust to help them resolve the dispute? That's it. First of all, I had to explain to them what mediation is, because again, the same thing about making a decision is what was in their mind. First, that had to be cleared, because everyone in India talks about panchayat and mediation. If you read about it, they will talk about it. But panchayat gives decisions. So first I had to remove that from their mind and then get into the aspect of finding these people, and names came out. Now we're trying to, I want to bring those people out, have a session with them, talk about people who have benefited from their dispute resolution method that they're doing, whatever name you want to give it. So that, so the only thing I can see is Olga has to rush somewhere and she's being too polite to say that. I can I know you have to get somewhere. So these conversations are going to continue. We'll have lots of these conversations. So thank you very much, Olga, for coming in. It was
Thank you.
wonderful talking to you. And I mean, the wonderful person that you are, is just so nice spending time with you. And we'll have more of these conversations.
Thank you very much.